What does it mean today to be a liberal? It means you're a bigot, you're a hater, and you're a hypocrite. Especially liberal college students, especially those that have voted to boycott Israel for some great moral righteousness. Well, you're really voting and saying that you don't support women's rights, you don't support gay rights, you don't support civil rights, and you don't support religious freedom. This is what America's universities, liberal universities, are teaching people. Women's rights. In Israel, women have full rights just like they do in the United States. This past year, in 2014, the valedictorian at Israel's most prestigious medical schools, one of the top in the world, was Maya Al-Saleh, a Palestinian Muslim woman born and raised in Israel. She was valedictorian. If she was living in the West Bank or Gaza, especially with their Sharia law, she'd have to ask her parents if she could go for higher education and to get their approval or get her husband's, because under those laws, they don't have women's rights. Just this past week, Foreign Minister Malmström of Sweden, so proud that they were the first to recognize the Palestinians as having their own state, and very supportive of Sharia law and all the human rights that it brings with it. She's also a big supporter of women's rights, and she was invited by the Egyptians to speak at the Arab League conference. However, when she got there, she was turned away and not allowed to enter. Why? Because her view of women's rights is not their view of women's rights, because women don't have rights. And she was not allowed to speak. In the West Bank, all right, the Palestinians were very proud that from 2012 to 2013, the number of honor killings for being raped, women being raped, doubled. And they doubled again to 2014. Right? It's legal for honor killing. If you're raped, you're the guilty party in the Palestinian territories. Not in Israel. In Israel, if you're raped, the person who raped you is the criminal. But I'm glad you support that kind of a philosophy by voting your support for the Palestinians. Now, when it comes to gay rights, again, it's supposed to be great bastions of of gay freedoms. Right? Israel has a thriving gay community. The election that we just completed in Israel, the gay vote was courted, just like it gets courted here. But if you're gay and you're in the West Bank or Gaza, you'd be executed. It's illegal to be gay, as it is in many of the Muslim countries. So you're supporting the execution of gays as opposed to gay rights. Civil rights. Israel, there are civil rights just like there are in this country. All right? The Palestinians can sue the government as, just like any other group can sue the government. You can complain about the government. They have Hanan Zawabi is a member of the Israeli parliament, as is 10% of the parliament being Muslim Palestinians, all right, because they were elected. Well, she is a huge supporter of Hamas. If she's not a member of Hamas, I don't know who else could be. Constantly criticizing her, but she's in the Israeli parliament because she was elected. All right, the wall that used to be this great discussion on how Israel could put up a wall to keep out the Palestinians, who were, by the way, sending terrorists over to blow them up almost every day. All right, you don't hear about the wall anymore. Why? Because the Palestinians in the West Bank, who complained that it was causing them an undue hardship, separating them from work and from their homes, not Israeli citizens, these are Palestinians who are in the West Bank, they sued the Israeli government in Israel. You know those terrible Israelis who don't believe in civil rights. Well, the Israeli Supreme Court ruled in the Palestinians' favor. They told the Israeli government that they must move the wall in certain places because it was causing a hardship. Now, could you imagine a Palestinian complaining to the Palestinian Authority or Hamas about some injustice? They'd be executed. After this past war over the summer, Hamas executed quite a number of people, Palestinian citizens, who were angry that despite the Israeli warnings that there would be their houses or their neighborhoods would be bombed because of the rocket launchers sitting there. All right, members of Hamas put out videos, put out the word on the internet that they weren't to believe the Jews; they were to stay in their homes and be martyrs for the cause. Those that complained were executed when it was over. That's Palestinian rights. All right, Ms. Zawabi can complain all she wants about the Israelis, and she's free to do so. But she says one word against Palestinian Authority or Hamas, she's a dead person. And forget Jews and Christians complaining, not going to happen. Religious freedom. All right? In Israel, you're free to practice whatever religion you want and whenever you want it. In Hamas, they've come out publicly and said the Middle East is for Muslims only. Number of times. President Abbas of the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank has made it very clear that no Jews will be allowed in a Palestinian state. He's made that speech in front of the UN. He's made it countless times. And meanwhile, he's greatly reduced the Christian population. That's religious freedom in the West Bank and Gaza, not what you call religious freedom in Israel. Matter of fact, the Palestinians themselves, one of their interior minister, last year used SodaStream as an example. Right? He was very critical of the Palestinian business community because Palestinians from the West Bank and Gaza that can cross over into Israel for work are treated much better. They have much better pay. They have much better benefits. And in the case of SodaStream, they're free to practice their religion all they want. There are rooms for the Palestinians to go and pray 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day, whatever they feel that they need to do to practice their religion. It's built into the system in many businesses because the Palestinians have equal rights for the most part in Israel. Is there some prejudice? Yeah, there's prejudice in this country against people. It happens on small scale. But if you're a Jew or a Christian, there are no religious rights in Palestinian West Bank and in Gaza. Yet you liberal college students at these places like Brandeis and others, those are the people you support who don't want anybody to be free under any circumstances unless you practice what they want you to think. Kind of like the liberal college campus. Because you certainly can't speak up against what the administration and faculty are teaching you people. It's a disgrace. And one more thing, your support of the Palestinians, I'm sure you're very proud that they have a state policy that says you can kill Jewish women, children, infants, toddlers. Why? Because at some point they might grow up to be Israeli soldiers. So it's legal to kill, blow up a kindergarten. Wow, look what you've done to help the Palestinians in the future. You've wiped out a lot of potential soldiers. These are the people you support. I hope you're proud to be a liberal college university student.